Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the filter cover on your dishwasher, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a number 20 Torx driver. Let me show you how we do it. Now, to do this repair, we're going to begin by opening the dishwasher door, and then we'll remove the lower rack and any items that may be on that rack, and we'll set it aside. Just turn that retaining nut counterclockwise. Lift the lower spray arm and cover. Set it aside. Remove the 6 number 20 Torx head screws. Just lift the old cover off of the pump, and then remove these 2 split rings and retain those. But we'll also want to remove the gasket that is seated inside of the old cover and discard the cover. And while we're in this area, it's a good chance to have a look at the filter, and if it's crudded up with, and inspect that filter, make sure that it's clean. If there's any crud or buildup in those holes, we just scrub that with a soft brush under a faucet. And as well, we'll look at the backwash arm. Just lift that off of the center spray bearing and inspect these slots on the end here and make sure they're clean. Make sure it sits right down to the bottom of that spray arm bearing. We'll reinstall the filter. And just before you do that, check the groove that that filter sits in and make sure no crud is down inside of that. Press that filter firmly into position. We'll take our new cover. We're going to install that gasket in the groove inside the cover and just press it in place. Make sure it stays there. We're also going to make sure that we line up that locating tab towards the right rear corner and set that into position, lining up the screw holes. Make sure it sits flat and that the center spray bearing turns freely. The new cover only uses 3 screws instead of 6, so you can discard the extras. And just snug those screws up just till they contact the surface of the cover. Check that bearing again, make sure it turns freely, and then tighten them up. If you find that bearing doesn't turn freely, just loosen the screws and just move the cover left or right to make sure that it turns nice and free. take that lower spray arm, and you'll note that there are two flat sides that match up with two flat sides on the bearing. We'll set that into position. Now next we'll put the two split rings back in. Just set them down into the opening, and we'll line up that split opposite from each other. And just push those down into the opening a bit. You'll note that the center spray bearing has two flat sides, and they correspond with the two flat sides of the lower spray arm. So make sure that those line up properly and sit nice and flush. We'll reinstall that retainer nut. Tighten that securely. Then rotate that arm, make sure it turns freely. And if you do find a spot where it's catching, you'll need to remove that and just move that cover a little bit, loosen the screws and move the cover a little bit to make sure that it turns absolutely freely with no restriction. You can next reinstall the lower rack. And our repair is complete. I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your repair.